Hey guys, it's Jordan, and today I wanted to bring you a short video review of the Black Ops 3 campaign. I've actually streamed the entire game on Twitch, and I just released a video a little while ago chronicling my journey through the last two missions. It's more of a goofy, fun kind of video, and fun-ish. And I decided that I wanted to give you guys a video talking about what I liked and what I disliked about the game. My honest thoughts. Which can be summed up like this. Nah, I'm just kidding. Partially. So I want to say first off that the game looks great. And I know at this point it's like, duh, yeah, AAA games look good, that's a given. But really, it is good to actually take some time to appreciate it. Even if you don't agree with the focus on style over substance that is prevalent in a lot of modern games. Treyarch at least put a bit of effort in here to get away from the grays and browns of previous Call of Duties and have created a more colorful game, which I really appreciate. In addition, the story of the game allows for some pretty cool visuals, such as the smoke from explosions morphing into crows, which occurs a little more towards the end of the game. More on that later, though. Before that, we'll talk about gameplay, which was for the most part pretty standard COD affair. If you like other Call of Duty games, I'm sure this'll tickle your fancy, on a functional level anyway. So naturally there's plenty of the shooting, shouting, explosions, and confusion that Call of Duty is known for. All very functional, but at this point fairly stale. I did, however, really enjoy the movement options offered by the game, which includes sliding along the ground, wall running, and boosting into the air. To be honest, and I'll cover this if I do a multiplayer video as well, I'm not entirely sure I prefer these movement options over the abilities given to you in the previous game, Advanced Warfare. When I first started playing the game, Black Ops 3 having really fallen in love with the AW movement system, I felt like my character in Black Ops was, kind of like chunky and sluggish when compared to how zippy the AW exosuits allow you to be. I still really greatly enjoyed wall running, and over time I grew used to the slower vertical boost, but still I really feel myself longing for at least Advanced Warfare's lateral boost system where you can go side to side and backwards, which is really useful for dodging and things like that. Anyways, the big gimmick of the game is the ability to use super computery brain powers to assist you on the battlefield. The game provides two different vision modes, including a mode that highlights basically every enemy on the battlefield with no downsides, so really there's no reason to turn it off, and a crazy night vision mode that also highlights enemies, while trying its best to give you a headache. Aside from that, the powers given to the player generally take the form of some ability to incapacitate or kill one or a few enemies every once in a while. Then they have to recharge. Honestly, I forgot about most of those abilities for most of the game, and bullets and rockets are really just as effective for killing people as a swarm of incendiary nanobots you get every once in a while. Oh, and you can also open doors by sticking your hand out at them and hacking, rather than interfacing with the door's controls. In addition to the expectedly atrocious depiction of hacking, the hand-waving thing gets on my nerves a bit because they could have varied the gameplay by implementing some task that the player had to accomplish in order to, hack things, a la BioShock or Deus Ex. I suppose in a game as frenetic as Call of Duty it would have been a bit out of place, but it really would have offered even just a little more variety to the game, which I feel is one of the biggest draws. Black Ops 3 uses a safe house in between levels as sort of a pre-mission lobby where players can customize their appearances, abilities, and loadouts in between missions. I always enjoy customization options, like seriously, they're one of my favorite things in video games, but the way customization options fit into the rest of the game serves as a detriment rather than a strong point in this case. The inability to pick up weapons on the ground without a certain upgrade, combined with a constant supply of ammo crates that work with every weapon, further combined with the near unlimited customization options, translated to me finding as broken a loadout as I could, and pretty much just using the same weapons the entire game. Seriously though, I was able to get through most of the last two missions with just a rocket launcher, and I never really had to worry about running out of ammo. I only switched to actual guns when the game literally forced me to, with enemies that repulsed rockets, or if I felt like mixing up the monotony. You see what I did there? First of all, I talked about a lack of worry. In a game that puts players in supposedly life-threatening situations, not having a sense of tension would seem to be a bit of a problem. Rather than being tense and exciting, gameplay just became tedious and boring. Secondly, I talked about having to find your own fun in a game. And I'm not talking about the Minecraft find your own fun kind of thing either. I'm talking about the bad kind. When you as the player have to try to enjoy a game, a medium which by definition is supposed to be fun, I think, there's probably something wrong there. Anyways, onto the story, which concerns a small group of ethnically diverse characters overcoming their differences to make the world better. Nah, I'm just kidding. You spend the game as generic white soldier man, fighting alongside an angrier white soldier man, killing robots, Asians, and brown people. After a gruesome scene, which apparently tries to one-up the loss of limb in advanced warfare, our hero gets his leg broke and his arms ripped off and becomes a cyborg. You then go on to fight terrorist forces in a ruined Singapore and in Egypt engulfed in civil war. Your small group of characters works to uncover the mysteries of why a team of fellow cyborgs went rogue, leading to uncovering a CIA mind control plot, and then you fight Nazis in the woods inside a woman's brain. What? Seriously though, the trippier game moments like that are probably the best parts of the game, where a computer program starts messing with people's cyborg brains and affecting their perceptions. In these instances, the environments shift and become much more visually interesting. I think that the game's story would have been much more compelling had the game featured a lot more actual exploration into characters' minds, as well as an exploration of the rampant computer program. However, in doing so, the game would have needed to sacrifice or change up the typical Call of Duty formula, which at this point is out of the question, due to what I would attribute to either laziness or risk aversion. I will admit, after the lower sales of Sledgehammer's Advanced Warfare, which were attributed in part to the futuristic setting, I was surprised to see that Treyarch dared to jump back into the sci-fi pool. And I respect that. Having a game set in a sci-fi setting can allow for a lot of different things to happen. The implementation of fictional technology can allow for creative new gameplay features, such as jetpacks and computery brain powers. As I mentioned earlier though, Treyarch did not use this to the best of their abilities, implementing more gimmicks into the game for the most part, rather than interesting integral mechanics to provide variety and fun. No real risks were taken. The formula is still the same. And while you could say that the aforementioned trippy moments were a bit of a step outside Call of Duty's comfort zone, let me ask you this. What do you do in those sections that's different? What does the player interact with that provides variety from the rest of the game? Unless you count a brief round of Nazi zombies randomly thrown in, not a darn thing. I find that given the amount of money put into these games, the campaign was severely lacking. I definitely think that Treyarch could have sacrificed putting so much into the clearly high-budget zombie survival mode for a campaign that could have been an intriguing, albeit cliched, sci-fi campaign mode. Instead, they played it safe and didn't bother, and it's really disappointing. I guess I can't really put it all on them, though. When it comes down to it, they're really just responding to what their audience wants. And most people don't respond well to radical change. So, thanks a lot, people. Finally, this is a bit of a minor point, but I was very disappointed, actually, to see that the Nazis were not using period-accurate weapons in the weird World War II segment. They were instead armed with the game's futuristic weapons, which was a bit of a letdown. Anyways, while I admit that I did like certain aspects and sections of the game, to me Black Ops 3 ultimately represents a major failure to capitalize on the greatness that I believe Treyarch could have achieved. That's why I'd give this game a 2 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching this video, everybody. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, if you agree or disagree with my opinion, or if, you just feel like it. Also, check out the other videos on my channel. I should have more coming out soon. In fact, the video footage that I used in this, I should have said it at the beginning, is footage of the stream that I did a little while ago and sort of edited down and kind of had some fun with. Anyways, I'm Jordan, and thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Oh.